getting started here. And hello. So imagine landing your first 5 coaching clients faster, with less stress, and without spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. That's what AI can really help you to do. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. If you can see me and hear me, say hello. My name is Amanda Kaufman, and I am the founder of the Coaches Plaza. I've been helping people get into their coaching business in a really serious way for over 6 years. I've been in business myself for 8 years, and I've been in business for like 18 years. And I love geeking out with you every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central, on what matters when it comes to building a coaching business that thrives. So I'm coming to you live from all the different feeds I see. Hello, good morning, Manna. Hello, Elena. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, so today we're going to explore how to use AI to create and validate a coaching offer. Okay, so I think probably many of you are already using AI. Let me know in the chat if you're already using ChatGPT or Claude or some other AI tool. But I want to talk very specifically today about how do you use it to help you attract and convert your amazing clients. So we're going to talk about how to validate your coaching offer, because one of the things that a lot of people are telling me these days is like, I know the direction I want to go, I just don't know what's next. So they're kind of freezing up on the next part. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how to build your client avatar using AI to help you be even more specific when you're speaking to your dream person. I found this to be so helpful in, refining my own message to make it work better with just organic marketing without having to rely on paid advertising as much, or having to rely on being at like live events all the time to meet my next dream clients. So I really want to share exactly how to do that. And then I also really want to help you save a lot of time and save money, but also make more. So if you love better cash flow in your business, let me know. And the best part is that all of this momentum is only going to enhance your confidence when you're out in the marketplace, because I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret. Most people are still scared of even using AI. So if you decide that you're going to build, AI usage into your skill set, you're already setting yourself apart from 95% of the people out there. That's like a rough estimate. Of course, I don't have a scientific study to back that up, but I do have a lot of anecdotal evidence that even when people have access to all the tools, all the technology, like all the resources, all the information, they don't take action on it. And so, a lot of my success doesn't come from being especially beautiful or especially intelligent or especially attractive in other ways. I don't know, like all the ways that people think that they can't attract clients. I fit into a lot of those things. And yet here I am. And I think most of it has to do with this attitude that I've developed over the years of I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be the one that tries, and I'm going to be the one that figures things out. So, we're going to be covering 3 ways in particular that AI can empower you, help you create a really compelling coaching offer. Yeah, that's so good. Elena was like, this sounds amazing, because I feel like even 3-year-olds are using ChatGPT. No joke. Like AI is so pervasive that even if you opt out, you're opted in automatically, because a lot of softwares are enhancing what they do with AI already. So it's like, it's not going anywhere. So you better lean into the tide. That's what I say. So we're going to cover 3 ways that AI is going to empower you. Again, that's creating a compelling offer, finding and engaging your potential clients, and automating those repetitive tasks so you can focus more on the coaching. And also the rest of your life, like I know a lot of you're raising families, you're, at a stage of life where maybe your parents need a little bit more help, so let's be real. Every minute that you spend is super, super valuable. And by the way, thank you for spending a minute with me today. We're going to keep this nice and punchy. But so let's just start with like, what is the problem we're solving with AI? Okay. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes people are making with AI right now is they're like, AI everything. But they haven't defined the problem yet. They haven't defined like what's the challenge that they're actually solving with the technology and with the tool. So shout out tool in the chat. If you hear me loud and clear that a tool is only going to be as effective as your clarity about the problem that you're solving, right? So let's start with what the first problem is. The first problem that a lot of us coaches, face is we feel a lack of clarity about what we're offering. We're usually pretty clear about the number of sessions and how much money we want to charge, but we're not clear on why someone would say yes. Do you agree with this? Let me know in the chat. Oh yeah, Tran, thanks for the reminder. I'm also building an early notifiers list for a brand new program that's coming out. So you can just say early or DM me the word early to get on the early notifiers list for my brand new program. It's going to be focused on helping coaches get their first 5 coaching clients. So I'm really excited about it. Thanks for the reminder, Tran. Okay, so many coaches are feeling stuck because they're not sure what their dream client actually wants. Have you ever felt like this? Have you ever been like, I know it's valuable, but I don't know if people want it. And even if you know that they want it, like for example, when I first started doing business coaching, I'm like, okay, people for sure want help with growing a business because they want to make money. They want to quit their job. Like for sure they want it. But I was really struggling when I first launched into being a business coach with how do I package it? How do I package my expertise in a way that it's attractive and appealing and also self-explanatory, so that I don't have to be the one that's always repeating myself over and over and over again. You're never going to get away from that all the way, you guys, but you can definitely help lift the load when you know that everything's packaged in a super sexy way. So that's the first problem that we're solving with AI. The second problem is really just like overwhelm. It's this overwhelm from trying to do absolutely everything in your business. And I'm going to go ahead and go there, probably your life. You're trying to do everything for everybody perfectly all the time right away. And the thing is that if you're spending hours on things like administration, you're spending hours on writing social media and not spending any time interacting with anybody on social media. If you're feeling like you have to just like stay stuck in outreach land where you're just continuously reaching out to your friends and family to try to get somewhere, like this is the most manual way to build a business. It's very effective in the early days, but I want you to start feeling that time freedom as soon as possible. And there is a level of skill that goes with developing your content, your messaging, and your AI skills. So here's what the big solution is. We're going to use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever tool that you're using. And I'm really curious, what do you tend to use? Let me know in the chat. I'm a ChatGPT girl. We're going to use AI to validate our ideas. Okay. Now, the number one arbiter, the major judge, the real judge of whether your idea is going to work, is good, is ultimately in the hands of your future clients, right? So you have to remember that we're kind of operating from a place of guessing. So the idea is use the AI to make a more educated and informed guess. We can also use AI to refine the messaging, and we can use it to automate the tasks. So let's talk first about how do you validate your offer. So I'm gonna help you with the strategies for landing your first 5 clients. And I'm broadcasting, during our regular live stream. So if this is super, super interesting to you, do let me know that, right? Like I want to create more of what you find really interesting. So let's talk about validating your offer. Okay. So usually when it comes to building an offer, the place I like to start is actually with the person. Who's the person that you really want to solve? So we call this a client avatar. And usually what happens is, you've probably heard that before. You've probably heard like you need an ideal client avatar, an ICA, blah, 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 blah. Everybody says this. But here's why that advice doesn't usually work is because coaches are generally guessing based on their very limited life experience, their limited social circle. They're not making an educated guess based on what the real world is actually full of, right? So, I know I definitely did this. I call this over indexing. It's when you are getting overly specific, really, really precise, but the problem is you're precisely wrong. You're not actually accurate. You're just very, very precise. So we want to use a tool like ChatGPT to generate a detailed client avatar. And actually, inside my program, the Experts Network, I have something called a Dream Client Generator, which is a ChatGPT that I actually built myself that I can share the link with you to help you with it. And basically, you can use your AI to create a profile of your dream client and talk about what are their pain points, what are their goals, what are the objections that they're going to have to change it, to making change. And the real key to this, what makes this work super, super well is when you can input information from conversations that you've genuinely had or information from research that you've done. Or you can even nowadays, because AI is connected to the internet, you can even just ask it what are the common solutions that someone like this is going for, and just ask the question. Because I know one of the biggest things that held me back for the longest time was just making assumptions about what you want. I made assumptions about what you want on the basis of what I want, and I think that that's a good place to start, but it's a terrible place to build from, because the truth is you're very special. You are very special. You are weird in a wonderful way. And I mean this in the most lovingest of ways possible. However, for you to build a really sustainable business, we need to speak to the oddities in others, not necessarily our very unique situation. So, yeah, if you want that generator, by the way, and you're here with me live and you're on Instagram, you can DM me Dream Client, and same on the Facebook. If you say Dream Client, I will send you the link directly to the ChatGPT. I won't even, there's no opt-in on it. I'm just going to give it to you because you're here live and we're talking about AI. And I just want you to know that tool is going to ask you questions that you might not think to ask, right? Because it's going to help you collaborate to build a really good client avatar. Okay. So first, we've got the hypothesis about who we're starting with. And by the way, is that so nerdy for me to call it call an educated guess a hypothesis? Okay, let me know in the chat if you vibe with that, because I vibe with it so hard, because it is a guess, but it's an educated guess. Okay, so the second educated guess we need to have is our offer. So now that we have guessed that people like this in the world are out there, then the next guess is they want this and they're willing to exchange time and money for it. So coaches often struggle to create an offer that really resonates with their ideal person because, you guys really like it? Okay, cool. Good. I love it. Okay, so coaches, when they set a hypothesis about the offer, the biggest issue is they're not actually treating it like a hypothesis. They're not treating it like a guess. They're treating it like, if I don't get this right, then my business is going to die, and then I'm going to die. Terrible. So what you can do is you can use AI to brainstorm some offers that align with your client's needs. So, when I'm working with a client privately, one of my favorite things to inspire them to do is take the big idea, the big offer, and then make an echo offer. I've never called it an echo offer before, but I really like it. It's like an echo of the main offer, but you're going to package it into a free PDF, or you're going to package it into a masterclass. You're going to package it into something that's a smaller bite and free, and you're going to put that out there. And if people take it up like wildfire, then you've got to, if they love the little thing and it's an echo of the bigger thing, the odds are so much better that the big offer, the one where you're charging money and you're asking people to work on something for weeks at a time and you're asking them for, hours of their life every single week. If you think about it, coaching is a super huge ask, isn't it? It's like there's people in my life I would ask far less of, that are super dear to me and super close to me. Asking somebody to step into a coaching program is a really big deal. So if you create like an echo offer, oh my God, I'm like, you guys, I'm so selfish in doing lives because I just start talking and then I come up with brilliant ideas. Does anybody else do that? I'm an out loud thinker. Okay, so you can use AI to brainstorm. What's the big offer? What's the main event? What's the signature program? And then you can use AI again to prompt for the echo offer, the free offer, the lead magnet is another word for that. And the idea is that you're using AI to be conversational. So how I just said, like, my best ideas come out when I'm verbalizing? One of the ways ChatGPT helps me a lot is I'm super conversational with it. Like, I literally named it Chatty Cathy because I wanted to just like dialogue and work things out. And a lot of your most brilliance comes out of conversation, right? Yeah. So we're going to refine those ideas. Now, the last kind of problem with the offer is people struggle with the messaging, like, okay, so I found the person I want to help. I figured out the way I want to help them. How do I say it? Right? Like, what's a compelling way to say it? Now, this is something that wasn't as straightforward as I thought it was going to be. So you might have to be kind of patient. But you can use AI to draft social posts or even parts of your conversation. So Elena, in prep for today's live, she was saying that she would really value knowing like how to open conversations, how to move conversations forward. You guys, I am a recovering introvert. Okay. I'm not an introvert anymore, but I'm a recovering introvert. And one of the hardest things about conversations for an introvert or a nerd or somebody who's like super multi-passionate is how do I connect really authentically with you, but I also don't lose you because I'm just telling you a bunch of garbage you don't even need to know. Does anybody else struggle with this? Because that's definitely been my struggle. So what I do is I'll go into AI and I'll be like, okay, here's the gist of the conversation, or I might even copy and paste sections of my conversation right into the tool. And then I'll say, okay, I want to say, and I'll just say it the way that my nerd brain says it. Okay. And so my nerd brain, usually when I'm talking, my nerd brain comes out in like really dense paragraphs. And I'm adding like a lot of information, a lot of detail that no human on social media earth is going to want to actually read that. But then the AI is able to like pull the main ideas, the main themes, and give me a suggestion on what I might say. This was like game changing. You guys, okay, wait, hang on. So the day that I got super sold on social media was when AI. I've been sold on social media for a minute. We'll tell that story another day. But the day that I really got sold on it, I was being very experimental, but super cautious because I always am. And I got this email from somebody that was like in my network, kind of an acquaintance. And they made an ask that was way bigger than what I wanted to give. Like they basically saw that I had built a huge Facebook group, and they wanted to be able to monetize the group that I had spent like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to grow. And I was just like, and also PS, this person had made zero investment in our relationship up to that point. And, I was just like, I know you because we happened to have run in a circle. So I like know who you are, but I don't know you as in like, I don't know, whether I can really trust you or not. And like, I'm super protective of you. So I'm like, I don't want to promote somebody that I haven't vetted. It is like the real and going to treat you super fairly and all of that kind of thing. Not that I thought that this person explicitly was going to do that, but I just thought like it was such a high pressure, ask. And so I wrote a reply and I was like, no. And I was Amanda kindly, politely, no. I'm Canadian. I cannot even help it. I am so polite. So I'm like, politely, no. I did like that thing. But you know what happened? She came back and she was like, oh, I'm like here, let me overcome your objections, basically. And I was like, oh my God. So the day I got sold on AI was when I took that email exchange thread and I was like, dear AI, please help me craft a polite and firm no response. And it produced this email that I was just like, I tell you what, like there's only been a few moments in my career where like the clouds parted, the choir sang. I'm like, I know how to say no now, and it's not this people pleasing guilty thing. It's like, no, but it's still showing up in that professionalism I wanted to. It literally found the words for me. So I learned to use AI to like help me in conversations where I was like losing my words, or I was getting emotionally flustered, or I wasn't really sure what to do next. It gave me ideas, right? And like not every single output that comes out of it I run with, but it gives me the ideas, and then I can say, hey, how about this? How about we refine it like that? And then I'm always the owner of the final product. Right? Has anybody else used AI like this? I hope that story kind of helps you understand, like, it's kind of an open tab on my computer all the time. I'm using it all the time. I use it for team announcements. I use it for social media, for client announcements, for emails. Like, oh my God, it's always open. So let's talk about a couple of other use cases that I want you to just write down for your notes that you could use AI for. The first one, is meeting people, lead generation. Meeting people, lead generation. So you can use AI to help you create personalized outreach messages, right? Personalized outreach messages and follow-up sequences. So, for example, let's say you've got some people in your network that are, you think they're kind of perfect for what you do, but you're not sure how to approach them. So here's what I would do is I would make a spreadsheet of those people. I might even put like some details about what they do for a living, what's important to them into like the spreadsheet. And then I would upload that spreadsheet into a ChatGPT thread. And I would tell ChatGPT, I want to reach out to these people. These relationships are really important to me. So I want to reach out in a way that is clear and is supportive, but I ultimately want to ask them for a referral or invite them into a coaching session. What's the best way to open this conversation? And then here's a little hack. You can actually say, like, give me 5 ideas for how to outreach to these people, or give me a customization that I can use based on the data that I've just uploaded in this spreadsheet. So like game changing. If you've got people that you want to talk to and you want to spend time with, this can be so super huge. And same with the follow-up. There've been times where I've gotten like a huge blast of, help me kind of content. Have you ever had that in like a DM message or something, and they reply back and it's like this really big message? I always want to help, and I always want to be really responsive. So sometimes I'll take that long, dense text and I'll be like, okay, what is a kind and shorter message that I can use to reply here to move this person forward and still inspire hope? So if I'm feeling like I'm not creative, I don't have to be. I can have this tool create a lot of different options, and then I end up becoming the editor or the curator of that. And thinking about editing and curating, let's talk a little bit about the most common coaching task that causes overwhelm: content creation. Okay, content creation. So yes, I use ChatGPT to prepare for today. And I told ChatGPT, here's the cool thing: when you have the paid GPT, and you can create basically a library of backstory on you. And so I used it, I use it to draft blog posts. I use it for the starter of my social media content. Now I've written so much content, sometimes it's honestly just faster to let my thumbs fly. But especially if you're starting out, you might want to use this as a tool to kind of get it started. I've also used it for writing emails. So like the email that invited people to come to today's live. Yep, I used AI to do that. And, I think there's a lot of shame that people have around using AI. They're like, oh, it's not authentic. And I'm like, is it authentic for your content to be full of spelling errors or for your content to be unclear? That's not an authenticity conversation. It's not. If you're the one that's signing off on the content and you're the one that's doing the input and requesting the content and you're the one that's informing the content, then it's authentic. Okay. So, like the same people that are super haterade on using AI because it's not authentic, they're like, if you look at their social posts and you look at their profile pictures, it's almost always done by like a really curated professional photographer. I'm like, can you tell me with a straight face that professional photographer didn't use, high-end equipment, didn't add lighting to the photo, didn't use Photoshop to edit the photo to show your very best features? Like, come on, man. Like, don't use your anxiety to justify why you're not doing the things that people who are successful do. Oof. Hello. Happy Monday. Okay. You can also use your AI in your preparation for your coaching. So for example, you could, organize your client information, right? You could summarize the client's goals and progress. I actually use tools that use AI now. So one of my favorite tools is Fathom. So just look up Fathom, and it's a plugin for joining Zoom calls. And it records like the call, but it also gives me a summary of the notes and the action items and all of that. I used to do all of that by hand, you guys. I used to do it all by hand. And like, big shout out to one of my former clients, because he told me, he was like, I don't mind, and I think it's faster and a better use of your time. And I was like, you're absolutely right. So I use AI for doing session notes. I also I use it, you guys, like a lot. I use it for editing for my podcast. It's everywhere. So I don't want this to be like really overwhelming. Really, the whole idea here was to inspire you with maybe some new ideas about how you could be using AI. I actually worked with a coach recently who, followed the guidance that I gave on the prompting to create a program that is like, being real, it took me about 3 years of worldly experience to be able to create an offer that was detailed like that. And the thing is that it can be done inside of, half an hour of work, versus like 3 hours, which is just incredible. It's so amazing. And I would say that like there's a couple of quick watchouts on AI. I'm all pro AI, but there's a couple of watchouts. I think the first thing is your AI is like the most eager to never disappoint you intern that's ever worked for you. So they'll work around the clock, but they'll cut corners, right? So an intern who doesn't really know what to do will cut corners. So sometimes you'll ask for like a blog post or something and it's like crazy short. So you're going to have to say, like, I want it to be 750 to 1,000 words long. Like, you have to tell it that, right? The other thing is sometimes, like, it can be a little forgetful. So even if you had a whole bunch of information in the prior thread, the conversation doesn't always prioritize accuracy. It always prioritizes completeness, but it doesn't prioritize accuracy. So that's why it's really important that you still own your stuff and you still own your craft and you still take pride on that. Can you shout out, I own it, just so I know you really, really heard me, that it'll speed everything up, but it doesn't eliminate the need for you to read it, to understand it, to stand behind it, and to correct it when it's not correct. The other thing that I'll caution about with AI is it's so important for you to find your authentic voice and make sure you're feeding it back into AI. How do I spell it? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. If you could ask the question another way, I'm super happy to support you, to help you. Okay. So I think the other big game changer is with content creation. My content creation, I used to produce maybe a post a day, and I felt like I was always writing. to produce one email a day and to produce one social post a day. And nowadays I'm posting anywhere from 30 to 50 times a week versus 7. And a lot of it has to do with how I'm using tools like AI. I actually have a smaller team than I've had in the past. I used to have like a full-time copywriter working for me. And even then she only produced 5, very amazing, but still only 5 emails a week. And what helped me so much was when AI came on the scene, I was able to increase my frequency and presence, and it actually caused more of a growth than the perfectionism of having the perfect crafted copy. So that little tidbit right there might have just saved you like $24,000, just so you know that. Okay, so let's talk about, now that you've seen what AI can like do for your coaching business, just imagine what it would be like to sit down in a workshop environment. Everybody's got their tabs open, they're working through it prompt by prompt, and you're getting live feedback on the outcomes, the outputs of what you're creating, and you've got everything streamlined step by step, so you're not totally overwhelmed trying to do everything all at once. So if that appeals to you, and if you are looking for your first or your next 5 coaching clients, make sure to shout out the keyword early or to DM me the word early so you can join the early notifiers list for my brand new program that's going to be helping coaches get their first 5 clients in 2025. I'm going to be using AI in this program because let's be real, if you want to be able to keep up in today's nutty kind of a world, there are just certain skills that are going to be absolutely required for your success in the long term. I don't have more to say about the program just yet. You have to wait. But that's the whole point of being on the early notifier list, is you're going to be the first to know. You're going to get the best opportunity with that particular program. And I'm going to give you a little hint. It is a lower ticket investment program. So you're not going to have to come up with tens of thousands of dollars to get to work with me or anything like that. Just say early, and I'll make sure to send you the link to join our early notifiers list. And when it is ready, as we head into 2025, you'll be the first to know. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining. I'm really glad to have you here. I will be back next week, 9 a.m. Central. And if you have ideas of things you'd love for me to cover, make sure you send me a DM. You tell me what would be super, super helpful, and we'll focus a whole class just on that. We'll see you very soon, you guys, and have a wonderful Monday.